All right, Lady Ada, what is this?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Wednesday evening show and tell. We're going to get right into it because we actually have so many people waiting to show off stuff. The first thing I would like to show off is my very own Adam Savage and Jen Schachter. No, just kidding. We have special guests. Adam Savage.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. Well known for tested and Mythbusters and cosplay and with some really bitchin' handbags.
Yeah.
And also Jen Schachter is here.
Yeah, we're gonna bring Jen on in a minute. So Adam, you're the show and tell this week. At least you're headlining here. So you're doing an event, SiliCon 2020, Savage MakerVerse. What is that?
SiliCon is a pop culture con like any other pop culture con. We have celebrities, autographs, photos. We have studios bringing franchises. We're going to have an Expanse reunion panel and a bunch of other, things you would expect to find at a con. But where it intersects this channel is about 5,000 square feet of our floor will be devoted to the Savage MakerVerse, which is a full-blown makerspace on the con floor as part of the con. And as far as I'm concerned, this isn't new. This is just making official a relationship between makers and con attendees and cosplayers that has been going on since the beginning of all of those things.
Okay, so what kind of stuff can people do when they go to SiliCon and the MakerVerse? Is there panels, there's shopping, there's booths, what art exhibits, what's going on?
All of the above. There are panels. We're going to have movie panels, like I said, Expanse panels, but also NASA will have a huge presence there. They're going to be talking about the pipeline to become an astronaut. I believe we can officially say that Kjell Lindgren, who's part of Crew 4 right now, up on the ISS, will beam down to SiliCon for a virtual panel from the space station.
That's cool. All right, so like anybody who's into like science fiction, cosplay, fantasy, literature, movies, making and crafting, and then what kind of stuff is...
Yep, everything.
All the best stuff in the world. So what's going on at the MakerVerse and specifically at this 5,000 square feet? What's going to be their tools, workshops?
Yes. So we're going to have, there's going to be tables with lamps and craft paper, the types of things that make me want to get my hands dirty. You're going to be able to purchase different packs of maker materials, or we can just give you some stuff. And there will be contests and show and tells and demonstrations by some amazing makers. Fawn Davis from Fawn Coast coming up from LA to talk about some of his favorite techniques. We have our own, and one of your favorites, Sophy Wong, is coming on down. Bill Duran
will be on shortly.
It's a little bit of everything. And our main goal with all of this is to lower the threshold of entry to as close to zero as we can make it. You want to come and make, you are a maker, we're going to provide you the space.
And do you have to be 25 to 44 to attend? Is this good for kids?
Yeah,
is it good for
this is families, everybody. This is totally from 8 to 80 is what our press release says.
Okay, awesome. All right, so let's say everyone who's watching this is so excited.
Yeah.
They want to go. When is this? Where is this? How do you get tickets? Jen, tell us.
It is Saturday and Sunday, August 27th and 28th at the San Jose Convention Center. This coming August. This is August. We're in August. Yeah. It's Saturday and Sunday.
Time's flying.
Tickets are at siliconsj.com.
Yes. There's a big button as soon as you go there that says get tickets. That's where you can find them. We actually have, I think, a special promo code for Adafruit to get 15% off for the weekend. So if people are in the area and they want to come hang out, definitely check that out.
And let me be clear, Adafruit makes no money on this. We just want to get the word out. So Lamore and I are longtime Maker Faire participants. I was one of the people who helped organize Maker Faire. And this is something that's been missing for so long in the intersection of these two communities. Like we see so many people using Adafruit stuff to make, the Iron Man thing or this glowing thing or, or a 3D printing projects. And so the combination of this stuff is fantastic.
I also want to point out to anyone that might think it's a zero-sum game that there's no way in which we have an intent to replace Maker Faire. I love and I miss Maker Faire. And as far as I'm concerned, if I was doing this, I would be doing it commensurately with Maker Faire.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There is plenty of room for everybody.
Yeah.
There's also a great opportunity, folks who might be attending like a local burn or something. You want to go to this, you can show off your costume. Show off your props, show off your safe fire spinning using LEDs only. Any other questions, Steph, you want to?
Jen, anything else for some of the logistics or any of the nuts and bolts before we go on to the other folks?
I would encourage people to go check out what's going on the website, because we have a whole list of different activities. There's going to be, like Adam said, there's a ton of different workshops that we'll have. We're going to have like single ingredient build challenges. So like we'll give people a length of wire and figure out what can you do with just wire in an hour, or just cardboard. There's going to be a mystery make-off. I've been working on the boxes this afternoon. So mystery materials and a bunch of pro makers will face off and try to, build something wacky out of things that they don't know what they're going to be in advance. And that'll all be happening in the MakerVerse area, so people can like build their projects, but also watch the pros show off and bring some really amazing things to share with people.
That sounds fun and wholesome.
All right, Adam and Jen, thank you so much. I know how much that goes into an event like this. Thank you for doing it. And yeah, and I know how many people become inspired, and then you hear from them, years later. They're like, "That's what got me started on my journey of making when I went to this thing or I saw this person."
So a lot of great memories.
Thank you so much.
It can really inspire next generations when they see this all. It's like their wide-eyed amazement of like, this is what engineering is. It's fun. It's creative. It's interesting.
Yeah, the NASA thing's cool too. That was a good idea.
So much, all that. I also want to point out that what's really amazing about Jen running the MakerVerse space here is that Jen is not only an amazing maker, but one of the things, Jen, that you make is community organizing. You bring groups of people into enthusiasm.
You make makers.
Yes.
And it's not easy.
Really exciting to watch, and it's lovely to be part of.
Yeah.
It's an absolute joy. This is like getting to throw a party for all of my heroes and friends, and it's fantastic.
Speaking of, Jen, if you could wave a magic wand and have someone who does like, wearables or cosplay or something, who would you want to be on the show and tell that maybe show something that they're going to be sharing at MakerVerse?
I would think of Sophy Wong. She would be
Sophie Wong. What a coincidence.
All right. Well, thank you.
We're going to bring her on in a second.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Adam and Jen. We're going to get to Sophie, and maybe we'll have you on. We're going to be doing a bunch of promotions on the Adafruit site and community, Discord, everything. So hopefully we'll see a bunch of Adafruit folks at Savage MakerVerse.
All right. Thank you for coming by. And don't forget to check out the website, SiliconSJ.com, to get your tickets.
Yeah. Oh, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Sophie.
Hi. I appeared.
Hi, Sophie. I have some of the beautiful fabrics, the 3D printed fabrics you brought. They sit on my desk at home because I find I need them to be that inspiring to me. And I literally just got a new monitor for my desk, and your cloth found its own new home on the desk.
I'm so happy to hear that. That's amazing. Thank
Heirloom. You're printing heirlooms. All right. Okay. Thank you, Jen.
All right.
And thank you, Adam.
All right, Sophie.
All right,
so you're going to be at this thing.
Sophie.
Hello.
What are you going to do at this thing?
What are you doing there?
Oh my gosh. I just am so excited because just like Jen and Adam were talking about, it's like all of my favorite worlds like coming together in one place. It's crazy. First of all, I'm going to bring tons of stuff with me. So I'm hoping that people can actually see these projects that I feel like I've only been sharing virtually, like in person. So I'll be bringing a bunch of my 3D printing on fabric projects, some things that I haven't even posted about yet that are kind of new experiments that I've been doing. I'm going to bring some things I've made and shown on show and tell before. I'm going to bring my space suit with my helmet and, of course, Hattie McHatface.
And you're ready to go to the NASA program. You should show up to that talk with your space helmet.
I am planning to do that. That's a great idea. Yeah. I'm definitely going to bring costumes. I'm going to wear a costume some of the time. I'm going to bring my Gedrin costume, who is 99% done. Might be hot gluing her on the plane. I know you can't do that, but
that's a standard con thing to do. You're like finishing it in your hotel room.
Exactly. I got to bring tools with me because you know how it goes. But I'm also going to be doing a workshop, and it's going to be I'm going to do like an in-person live version of the workshop that I did for Silicon that was virtual before. So this is the cyberpunk headset that we'll be building. It's a laser cut kit that I designed that has lights integrated into it. And here's what it looks like right after you build it. So we'll sit down for a couple of hours. We will build this together, and you will have this finished piece that you could actually just wear around the conference if you want to do that. That would just make my dreams
sign
come
up.
true.
This is going to sell out. Everyone wants to learn from Sophie.
It's going to be so fun. It's so fun to build this, and it's just built on snowboarding goggles. The goggles come in the kit. Everything you need to put this together is in the kit, and they're going to have all the tools that we need and all the glue that we need just there, and we'll just sit down and build a fun cosplay project together. So I'm so excited to do that.
I like that you're making, you have a workshop where when people walk out, now they're part of the scenery at a Comic-Con. Yeah, it's like it just everyone's getting upgraded as they get more costuming.
Exactly.
All right, we have a comment. Even somebody said they did the virtual workshop with you and it was great. Everybody should attend. Jen also is a great host for workshops, so you got lots of.
Yeah,
Charlene.
You have fans.
Charlene says plus 100. The workshop is awesome.
Oh, yay! Oh my gosh, it was so fun. It was so fun to do it. I'm glad that we got to do it virtually. And now I'm so excited that we get to do it again, in person. I think it's going to be just my dreams come true.
It's going to be so much fun.
So all throughout this week, next week, and all the way up to the event, we're going to do some social media posts and more. I think you have some things that we're posting up. So keep coming back. And then maybe after SiliCon Savage MakerVerse, you can send us some photos or come back and maybe share some of the things that you did there.
Definitely. We'll do a recap. That would be awesome. Thank you.
All right. So speaking of, we're just going to keep going.
Well, who else is involved in this event?
Well, I think Kevin from DigiKey has something to do with this too. Kevin, what is going on?
That is absolutely true. We are going to be at SiliCon. We will have a DigiKey booth. We're part of the Savage MakerVerse. We're going to bring products into MakerVerse that people can just take these products and add to their designs, add to their whatever they have, their helmets, their goggles, their wearables, anything you want. And
we got a request for LEDs, NeoPixels.
Yeah. I saw that. So we're definitely going to have to add those to our list. I'll make sure it happens. And we're also going to have a workshop on creating an arc reactor, kind of like you see on right here.
Cool.
This using the Circuit Playground Express, and it's such an amazing platform that you can do anything with it. Just add a few more LEDs to it, and you have your own Iron Man arc reactor.
It's a great example of how we can make stuff easier for kids and cosplayers and beginners, get people excited into electronics, and then of course DigiKey is a great supplier of electronics. Yeah. Where I purchased my parts when I was starting out.
We all have choices of where we can get electronics. I think people should choose places like Adafruit and especially places like DigiKey, because if you're going to get electronics from someplace, it should be the entities that are supporting things like Comic-Cons and Savage MakerVerse and SiliCon. I mean, I think this is I think this might be the first time that a company like DigiKey has been at a Comic-Con.
At a conference,
right?
like
this is kind of a big deal. Like there's a bunch of for y'all who aren't in the industry, there's a bunch of giant electronic companies, but there's only one DigiKey, and I think this is
go to only like the silicon, like not silicon like Silicon SJ, but like actual silicon conferences where ST and NXP and Maxim show up. But this is a place where
we've been to those, and it's very industry. There's nothing like this. So thanks for doing this, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing we strive on. Like, we're not going to go to SiliCon and have a corporate type of a booth. We're going to have a fun booth, an interactive booth where it fits in with the crowd, and it's just going to be great. We're really excited about it. Jen, you talked to her a little while ago. She is incredible. She's helped us out every step of the way. So we're really looking forward to it. We're counting down the days. We'll be there.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. And, we'll see you probably next week here.
Sounds good. Take care.
Awesome.
All right. So we are going to get to some more folks. We're going to get to Paint Your Dragon, who has a cosplay related project.
All right. So you're ready for
the project. Cosplay. I had to wear a spacesuit. It's with Adam.
And you've got
this is how Phil normally dresses, by the way. So
and you've got the alien behind you.
Yeah. So is this going to be at SiliCon?
Well, here's the deal. I am going to be at SiliCon. Not in official capacity, just with the rabble, and I'll be in costume. Not the Kazinti. The Kazinti I'll do next year. I'll have something else this year. I'll be kind of incognito, like Adam's famous for doing. But if you find me at the con, I will have a bit of Adafruit swag.
Oh, okay. So you have to identify the dragon.
You have to find them, and then if you find them,
they have to say, "I think I Spy with My Little Eye, something that begins with dragon, and then you'll give them a free gift.
Then you got me Adafruit swag as long as it lasts.
As supplies last.
So that's
and so what are you looking forward to seeing or doing at Silicon or Silicon?
It's just, cons have just been kind of non-existent for a couple years. I mean, they're starting to come back, and it's just getting back into that groove and being with my people, just science nerds and maker nerds and comic people. It's fun, and I miss that, and I'm looking forward to that part.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
So you've heard from the organizers, the promoters, the workshop holders, and people who are attending, all of whom are extremely cool people.
All right.
So what's stopping you from getting tickets?
All right. Thanks so much, Phil. Okay.
All right, thanks, Phil B.
All right. We're going to continue with some more projects and more. JP, what you got going on this week?
Hey, so one, I have huge jealousy and envy because I'm not going up to the con this year, but I hope I can do it next year. We're just too busy right now. But so what I'm working on is, you might recognize these gorgeous little step switches that Lamore got in the store. Thank you so much for getting these. These, of course, remind me a lot of the step sequencers from Roland, like the 808 and the 606 and some of the other ones that use a really similar looking switch to this. And so I just wanted to start incorporating into a project, figure out how you work with it. I found out you can actually put it onto a gridded protoboard. That's the type that doesn't have any connections because of the alignment of these switches and their LEDs. You can't really put them on a breadboard or a perma-proto, but they will work as long as you hand wire them, which is what I've kind of done in there. I'm hiding that a little bit. And here I have it running with a Pico, and I'm just using it as a sort of a mute switch. So if I turn on my speaker over here, if I press a button, that means I'm letting one channel of sound come through.
Oh, now we're jamming.
That's nice.
So I can throw in this case, just 4 little tracks. So I've got some hi-hats, and I've got some little snare drums, and I've got a kick, and then this sort of bass line. And so it's just this fun, easy, if you look in my window there on the synthesizer, there's a little panel called mutes, and that's all this is doing, is triggering those 4 mutes. But you can configure it to trigger anything. I'm just using some MIDI CC messages, but of course, this would make a great little 4-key USB keyboard for copy paste and those sorts of things, or sending long screeds as macro messages that you've already filled in. So it's a little project I'm working on, and hopefully some more fun stuff will come out of having these. So thank you for stocking these. I love
Cool. And folks can tune into your show tomorrow for all this and more.
Please do. Stop by tomorrow for John Park's workshop at 1 o'clock Pacific time.
Thank you so much,
Thank you, JP.
All right, Pedro, how are you doing? What you got this week?
Hey guys, doing really good. We'll be back with 3D Hangouts next week. This week though, obviously we have to say, super inspired by, all the stuff going on with the con and everything. Remember watching like Movie Magic and then Mythbusters, seeing Adam doing all that stuff, and this is how I got here. So it's super cool to have, it's showing the next generation how to get there. So freaking super pumped to show it off.
Silicon, cool. Miami next year, maybe.
Yeah. Orlando.
Well, Orlando. I'm not going to
Miami.
All right, what project you got this week?
So one that, Phil, you've been wanting to get done for quite a while now, and all the projects that you want to do, Phil, there's like so many like meanings behind it, and this one is definitely in terms of like, preserving like history and like historical sites and stuff like that. You took a bunch of like scans of like these cool statues. You want like this really cool museum. You wanted to do like a guide on how to do like low poly versions of these. So that's what this week is about. We have a cool little guide on showing what apps to use, how to use them. And for quite a while, we've been trying to do like the LiDAR stuff. And we talked about this like with the print your own like action figure one. And it's just pictures, I think we were going down the wrong path of trying to do like the LiDAR and all that. It's just photos that turned out to be like so detailed, especially like cool things like this where like they're just giant statues. You can't really
and that's from like a local park,
so
right?
Anyone with their super phone, their iPhone, can go to a museum and take pictures, or even use the face recognition feature through an app, and you can print these things out and have a piece of history that you can have at home.
And looks great.
It
looks really good. So beautiful. And like you were saying, these are unfortunately, this is like at a restaurant that's, you can't really get into. You need like a month reservation to even get in. So a lot of people can't, experience how big and, giant
you can put these in the
are.
video games. If you design video games, you can scan something in. I scanned the 2600 hacker van last week, and then this is and then
really
this
brought
is
it home when with your line of saying, it's not going to last forever. And I see on the news, like these giant historical, statues being destroyed in Iraq and Mosul. It's like, oh my God, this is like a way to preserve it. I see like National Geographic just did a scan of like Stonehenge. So it's like, dude, this is something that people can do. You don't need a super phone. It's just regular pictures. You don't need any depth.
You don't need sensors or anything.
Phones are good enough. They can do a lot. Yeah. And this was a scan of a 2,500-year-old Buddha statue, a Zen master statue that's at the Rubin Museum in New York City. And I scanned it, and then I'm just like, I wanted to like have my own version and like do kind of an artistic twist to it. So I had this like low poly version that I made. And the Rubin Museum saw it, and they're like, this is cool. Like, this is what we want. We want people to experience the art and share it and kind of have their own take on it too.
And that's one point I forgot to put in the video, where like museums could, print these out and sell these and make, because
or just share them
do
with
fundraising
people.
or whatever.
There's all these students in schools that have access to a 3D printer, and like, we don't need more Yoda heads.
We do not need more Yoda heads.
Exactly. Yeah. It's scanning that stuff that's in your, your area, your neighborhood, because you're right. It's not going to last forever. If it's going to change, you want to, preserve that memory and have the accessibility wise, people can touch and feel these. Or if it's a giant statue.
I like that you made a lamp out of it too, because you can add electronics to it.
That's the other thing. Yeah. So this is just like, you do Cutie Pie with a BFF on there, and you can just print it hollow. Yeah. This is accidental nightlight. This is a glow in the dark filament, so you can put like a timer on there, so when it goes off, it'll just stay for a little bit.
That's a 3D scan of Maitreya, the future Buddha. So I think it's fitting that there's neopixels in it. So.
So check out the guide. We show you how to use Blender. Completely free, open source. You can find out how to clean it up. And then shout outs to Andrew Sink, who made an excellent web app to allow you to do like the low poly features that we used on all of these. So definitely check it out. And he has a guide as well on scanning like miniatures. So
two
different approaches.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to support the author of that tool. We sponsored their project, and we also sponsored a guide for them to do.
Super cool. Yeah. So check out his web app. Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks so much, Pedro.
Thank you, Pedro.
All right. We're gonna have an extended version of show and tell this week. So everyone, we're just gonna get to everyone. Because you're just going to all watch That's Good Engineer right afterwards anyways. We'll go to Scott, and then we're going to go to Jeff, and then we'll go to Liz. And then I think we're going to go to Joey because he has a product in our store, and we'll get to Debra and Mark. So we got a lot of folks ahead, but that is all good. Scott, what you got going on this week?
Hello. Before I forget, I'm doing Deep Dive on Friday.
Whoa, it's
Foamy
back.
guy is taking vacation and was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm on vacation. I was like, well, I could do it. So
all right.
I'll be doing a deep dive as
the return
there. So check that out, and I'll give you kind of a preview. I've been working on getting the CircuitPython 8 has a title bar, which is like all the status you need to see at the very top of the screen, but it's also at the top of like your terminal if you're connected. So I've got 3 quick screens. First, we have a clue. You can see that there's BLE status up at the top. And then the second thing is the code file that's running. So you can see that code.py is running. And then kind of trailing off the screen, there's the version. I've got a big, long version, but the smaller actual ones should fit. Second, I've got an Edge badge. This is also running this new title bar code. And this has an import error. And the title bar now says the line number, the @line number, and then the type of error. And then you can see the version number there again. The challenge of this is that you don't know how big the screen is. So you want to put the most important information kind of furthest left. And then lastly, so that was NRF. The previous one was, that was AML and NRF. And now we have ESP. So this is an Odroid Go. And this is kind of what motivated the title bar stuff in the first place. Is you can see that there is there's an IP address at the top, and you can see it's done running code. And there's a little bit of a new thing there as well. It has the unique ID is printed out for the boot out text, which is a request from the Thani author. So thanks to them, and I'll sneak that in this next change as well. And sneak peek, I think this is what Joey's going to show off too.
Ooh.
which I got one, and I haven't had it. I put it together, but I haven't had the chance to play with it yet. So,
all right,
deep dive Friday, 2 p.m. I'll probably try to get going a little early because it's been a little while. So,
okay,
make
all
sure
right.
to get going by 2.
This is one of your last chances to see Scott do a video before he goes on a little bit of leave, but he'll be back, and we're going to do another video series, maybe a different one when he returns.
Yeah, probably in January. We can talk about that on Friday as well. But in January is when I'll start streaming consistently again.
Cool. All right. Thanks so much, Scott.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, Jeff, what you got going on this week?
Hello. This is the toughest act to follow in a long time. What a bunch of great people you have. But anyway,
it's a Jeff sandwich right now. You're right in the middle. So you're the most important part. You're like a slice of cheese or lettuce or tomato.
But here's the thing.
I am cheese.
All of this work that you've seen builds on stuff that you've done. Like Scott couldn't have done that Odroid or terminal stuff if it wasn't for the ESP32 work that you did to get it running. You were like the first person to get it running. So
well, thanks.
That core work is essential. We stand on each other's shoulders in a weird kind of circular shoulder standing thing. Which I don't know if
we always say this is like skateboarding. We're all doing our tricks. So what trick are you doing this week?
Up more stuff for folks to build on. So this is a development board from Espressif with the ESP32S3 and a camera, and I've got it running Circuit Python and getting 15 frames per second from the camera sensor right here onto the display. And I'm really stoked because this has come a long way in about 2 weeks. We did an implementation of camera a year ago, and we decided to kind of completely revise it so that we got better support across the Espressif boards that support cameras. And it's really shaping up. There's a pull request out there. So in a couple of weeks, people will be able to try it out pretty easily.
Yes, and the ESP32S3 is interesting because there's actually an AI coprocessor inside there, and Espressif, they have like cool stuff like facial recognition, like you can program in a face, and that'll be something that if maybe not make it into CircuitPython, but in Arduino will be possible. So I'm excited to check out some of the capability of the S3 camera peripheral. They've really improved it.
All right, thanks so much, Jeff.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
All right, so we're gonna go to Liz and Joey, and then Debra, and then Mark. So
hey, Liz,
get your projects ready. Liz, what you up to this week?
Hey, how's it going? This week I worked on kind of a synth project palette cleanser. It's a MIDI to CV converter, so it has a QT Py RP2040 in here in this skull sandwich, and that's sending out a gate output and a 1V oct, which is pitch as voltage. So I have it plugged into this Raspberry Pi that I use as a USB MIDI host, and then I've got this MIDI keyboard here talking directly to it. So, and then this gate and 1V oct is going to my Eurorack synth that's off screen, so I can play some arpeggiated chords. And it's coming through Castor and Pollux.
So you're playing just because we can't see. You're playing keys You're playing keys on the keyboard. Yep. That's being converted from USB to
USB MIDI going into QT Py running CircuitPython, which then sends out a gate signal when a note is played, and then sends out 1V oct depending on the MIDI note number.
You know what we have to do? We have to eventually get USB host working, and then you can plug the synth directly into that 1V oct converter.
That is a dream of
We'll
mine.
do that when Scott gets back into USB host.
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a learn guide for that if folks want to build that. Skull is optional, but I think it makes it a little extra snazzy.
Can you show it with the cables unplugged so people can see the adorable eyes? Because that was the thing that totally convinced me that this was awesome.
It's very gratifying. You just like plug in the
hey, I'm your little synth friend. Adorable. I love that you put on a protoboard and then you design this 3D print thing to fit it, so it was backwards than how usually people design.
This is a great time to be alive. You can design and make all this stuff. This is possible.
Yeah.
All right.
Very cool. A very useful synth tool when interacting with your racks or older synthesizers. So
yes, definitely.
Super handy.
All right. Thank you, Liz.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Joey, welcome to the show and tell. This is kind of this is a celebration show and tell this week. Congratulations, you have a product in the Adafruit store now.
Thanks so much. Yeah, y'all. I was wondering when. I shipped these to y'all, and now they're in the store, and folks are getting them. It's really exciting.
Yeah. All right. So how did this happen?
Tell us what's about what.
Yeah. How did you get here? What happened?
Pitch it.
Well, So I mean, it's a FeatherWing, which I feel like Feather has always been like my home. Like I feel like it's like anytime I was reaching for a project in my early days, Feather was like the platform. It's portable, it's battery powered. It's just a really great form factor. And this was like kind of the start. And then Lady Ada, you did a Desk of Lady Ada piece, Great Search, where you were searching for an LCD driver. This was back in February. And I saw this piece and thought, wow, that's I've been working with LCDs because of the sensor watch, obviously, and I thought it'd be cool to make a FeatherWing that did some LCD-oriented stuff, and the rest, as they say, is history.
So how did you get this custom LCD made, right? Because it's a custom design. That's why it fits and looks so good.
Yeah, it is. So I designed it in Affinity Designer, which is kind of like Illustrator, but you just kind of buy it once, and it's vector art. And I was able to reach out to some LCD fabricators based out of China, and that was just through Alibaba, and one of them put together a quote, and I was able to just have them fabricate 1,000 of them for me, and it was actually not like that. It was
1,000 isn't too bad, right? Because it's only, I mean, like I'm not gonna ask the pricing, but it's usually only a couple dollars for an LCD module. So 1,000, if this is a successful product, it's a good investment.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like it was like such a huge minimum order quantity that I was like, taking out a loan or something. It's just like, this is like, I feel like I can put this thing together and see how it goes. And I mean, so far, I think people are really engaging with it. I think it's a really cool piece of display tech.
All right. And then as a maker mogul now, as a kit manufacturer, how was putting these together, test jigs, packaging? Like, what were some of the things that you needed to do? Because it's easy to, well, I'm not going to say easy. It's different making one thing for yourself than, sending 50 to someone to be a reseller of.
Totally. And I mean, this is one of those things where I feel like, again, this is really kind of an Adafruit inspired joint here, because like I'm just going to tab over to this other tab here. I built a test jig to kind of do my testing and my all this, and that was based on a Learn guide that y'all have published. And also every week I'll do the New York City factory footage, and it gets, I get to see how y'all put together products, how y'all put together testers. So yeah, I feel like I tweeted this earlier today. It feels like y'all kind of taught me how Adafruit makes things just by sharing your process and sharing what y'all do. And so I feel like I've learned a lot through that, and that's how I was able to put together this.
I also like that you've learned, we've really changed how our testers have been designed over time. So I'm glad that you got to skip all of that early, it worked, but you could only, it would break really quickly.
A lot of folks think we make
we
make electronics, but the real thing that we're working on, the bigger picture thing, the longer term thing, is making other makers who then make other makers who make other makers who make other makers. That seems to be the theme tonight with SiliCon and Adam Savage's MakerVerse. All these things are to help other people get inspired and make things. Because now you have a product, now you get to have that experience, and then someone's going to pick that up, and that's going to probably start them on their own journey, and they're going to look at you for inspiration. So it's a full circle. All right. So available in the Adafruit store, and if folks want to support Joey and Adafruit, you can get a twofer, and just wait till Ask an Engineer tonight, and you can use a discount code.
Sweet.
It's gonna be the star of the show.
Yeah, that it is. It is the star. It is the star product of the show.
Touched. Thanks, y'all. Thank you so much, and thank you for sharing all your process, because it's I wouldn't be here without y'all. So.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much, Joey.
Thanks,
all right.
Joey.
Next up, we're gonna go to Debra, otherwise known as GeekMomProjects. How you doing? So good to see you.
Hello. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you for letting me on in a little bit of overtime. There was so much here today that's awesome.
I know, right?
I'm totally excited to attend SiliCon.
Yeah.
Now I'm hell-bent and determined to find Phil, whatever he's wearing. So
that's right.
I'll take a clue if anybody knows. But yeah, the project I'm going to talk about, and by the way, I'll be at the Alpenglow booth because Carrie from Alpenglow is going to be selling some stuff there, some of my stuff, some of her stuff, and some new wearable product that's a collaboration. But that is not what I came to show off. So it's actually the 3D print with LEDs earlier. The statue is awesome because there's no better accessory for 3D prints than. Oh, hang on, let me take off the headband, not the. Can you see my? Can you see my? Yeah.
Ooh, so cute.
This is 3D printed LED headband, and I'm super happy with the way it came out. And what's even better about it is it could be certainly used with it could be used with any kind of Bluetooth board and an IMU. It's using the Zhao Sense board because it has a built-in IMU in it. And one of my favorite things about it, it's got an NRF 52840, and I love your Bluefruit app so much, always have, because I don't know how to code an app, but I don't have to, so I can switch.
Don't.
Yeah.
This is why we designed it. I was like, I don't
Yeah.
want to code an app either. I just want to have a control panel like this.
Exactly.
So I can switch between animations using the animation, and just briefly, the color picker lets you send different colors to some of the patterns. But the one that I'm actually super happiest with, and oops, let me go back to, I'm doing this upside down from my vantage point, if I can get back to is I use the IMU. If you'll notice, with you changing pitch, the LEDs spread, and changing roll, they always stay on top. So it's like a level for your head.
That's funny.
And my son said it would help me keep my head on straight, which I really
Good.
appreciated. It was a really fun make, and thank you guys for the awesome Bluefruit app, because it was a
all right. Thank you for sharing all your projects. You do such a fantastic job getting people interested in doing LED art, wearables, and more. Thank you. Thank you so much, Debra.
Thank you for making it easy. I appreciate it.
I love the necklace too. That's so cool. All right, everybody, see her at Silicon. She's going to be there as well.
All right. So this show was so bright, you have to wear shades. Mark, play us out.
Hey, well, this is a really tough night to end on, just with everyone.
I think this is going to work out, though.
Yeah. So I've showed these glasses off before with the googly eyes, that I now have actual irises in, which don't really show up on camera, but look really cool in person. But the other thing is, I just published a guide on how to make these just before the show that I'll post in the different chats after this.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, this has been inspired by pretty much everyone I've seen on this show. Like, I'd see where they came from to where they are now, and just knowing that, hey, this is a path that any of us can take.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. IMUs and googly eyes are just fun. So
yeah,
these will keep me entertained for hours.
Well, I think you speak for all of us. We are wide-eyed with excitement. And the future is bright.
The vision we can all have.
Yes.
Thanks. Now I'll just have to go rewatch the show with actually seeing it and not just listening.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark, and keep coming back.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, everybody. That was an epic show and tell. Thank you so much for coming by this week and sharing your projects. We're here every week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be doing Ask an Engineer in just a few moments. Special thanks to Adam, Jen, everyone who's working on SiliCon, Adam Savage's MakerVerse. We'll have more information on all our social media platforms. You can go to siliconsj.com, and we have a discount code, Adafruit. We have nothing. We don't make any money or anything. We're just trying to help out, get the word, because this sounds like a really fun event, as you can tell. So imagine the show and tell, but times like thousands.
Like coming at you.
Yeah.
Like everywhere.
So we'll see everybody on Ask an Engineer. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thanks, everybody.